There's a magic number everyone in the world of finance talks about: $100,000. You hear it all the time on social media, in books, or on investment forums. They say this amount is a golden ticket. But there's a harsh reality most people don't know. Nearly 90% of people will never hit this milestone in their entire lives, and the reason isn't just low income or a weak economy. The real culprit is an ancient defense mechanism programmed into our brains for thousands of years just to keep us alive. Today, I'm going to explain why most people stay stuck below this invisible barrier, and why crossing it isn't just about money. It's mostly about psychology. First off, let's get one thing straight. Reaching $100,000 isn't just about a number changing in your bank account. This is the point where the rules of the game change. It's a massive leap toward true financial freedom. So, why is it so hard? Most people think of money as a straight line. You work, you earn, you save, and the money grows. But real wealth is an exponential growth curve, and the initial fuel needed for that growth to take off that first 100K is the most difficult, painful, and patience-testing phase of the entire system. As Charlie Munger famously said, the first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. Why? Because after $100,000, the money stops growing through your physical labor and starts growing through its own gravitational pull. So, where does the problem start? Most people equate financial freedom solely with income. They think, if I just earned an extra $20,000 a year, everything would be fine. But the reality is that when income increases, expenses usually rise at the same speed or even faster. We call this lifestyle inflation. But I prefer to call it the comfort trap. A new car, a bigger house, fancy dinners every week. These seem innocent, but they are slowly stealing your freedom. Without realizing it, people build their own golden cages. The money they earn just polishes the bars a bit more, but it never opens the door. The mistake many people make is seeing money only as a spending tool. For the bottom 90%, money is used to buy things. But for the top 10%, money is more like a soldier. Every single dollar is a soldier fighting on your behalf, returning from the front lines with loot in the form of interest, dividends, or capital gains. If you sacrifice all your soldiers for luxury purchases, you eventually end up alone on the battlefield. This is what most people miss. Money isn't saved to be spent. It's saved to buy freedom. When we look at it psychologically, things get even more complicated. Our brains release dopamine. When you buy something new, it immediately sends a signal saying, you succeeded, you're safe. But investing isn't like that. When you put $100 into an index fund, you don't feel an immediate rush of happiness. In fact, seeing that money just sit there for a long time can be frustrating. Human nature prefers the small pleasure in hand today over the big reward 10 years from now. The marshmallow test explains this perfectly. The children who could wait and not eat the marshmallow immediately were more successful and wealthier later in life. The $100,000 barrier is essentially a test of how long you can resist that first marshmallow. Let's talk numbers, because math doesn't lie. Suppose you consistently save $500 a month and invest it in a fund with an average annual return of 7 to 8%. The first few years will be incredibly boring. Watching it accumulate will test your patience. $10,000, then $15,000, and you'll think, at this rate, it's impossible for me to become a millionaire. This is exactly where most people quit, because the effect of compound interest only starts to show its power once it reaches a certain mass. A 10% return on $10,000 is only $1,000, which doesn't change your life, but a 10% return on $100,000 is $10,000. That's when the money starts working for you. Your money in the bank starts acting like a salary, and at that point, everything changes. Actually, the real transformation happens right here. Most people can't handle the void of the 5 to 7 year process it takes to reach $100,000. Yet that time isn't just a period of saving money. It's a period of character building. The person who saves that money is the person who doesn't spend it. the person who can control their impulses and resist social pressure, their friends' new cars or vacation photos. I've realized this. The real difference between someone with $100,000 and someone without isn't the figure in the bank account. It's their perception of time. The 90% usually plan for the weekend or the short term, while the 10% invest for a decade later. Let's look at a real-life example. Consider the average Henry profile in America. High earner, not rich yet. Someone earning $120,000 a year. They have a stylish apartment, the latest iPhone, and buy coffee out every day. From the outside, they look successful. But when they check their account at the end of the month, there's almost nothing left. Because Henry is spending to show success, not to build it. On the other side, there might be someone earning less who chooses to stay invisible. That person braved difficult days until they built their $100,000 fortress, because they know that once the fortress is built, no storm outside can tear it down. That's why financial freedom isn't just about money. It's about resilience and patience. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into this strategic perspective. Why do most people give up right when they are so close to breaking through? It's because they fall into the linear progress trap. The vast majority of people assume they'll get wealthy just by saving the same amount of money every year. But the real secret isn't just the amount. It's about removing the time pressure from your life. Think about it. If you have $10,000 and your car suddenly breaks down or you lose your job, it's a massive crisis. Your entire plan falls apart. But if you have $100,000, that event is no longer a crisis. It's just an expense. At that exact point, you experience a psychological shift. You become more rational, calmer, and you start thinking long-term. You don't panic, and you don't make impulsive, fear-based financial decisions. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to look fake rich. In the US, we have a saying for this: big hat, no cattle. It means you've got the flashy cowboy hat, but you don't actually own any cows. Most of those shiny lives you see on social media are just illusions sustained by debt. About 90% of those who get stuck at the $100,000 barrier are people compromising their own future just to impress others. Saying, "I deserve this," is perhaps the greatest enemy of financial freedom. Sure, you might deserve that luxury vacation, but the index fund shares you could have bought with that money would bring you significantly more happiness 10 years down the road. Looking back, which one will truly satisfy you? Here is the crucial point most people miss. Saving that first $100,000 isn't just about math. It's a test of character. During this process, you learn to control your ego, stop caring about what people think, and most importantly, you develop the skill of delayed gratification. Once this skill is forged, going from $100,000 to $1 million becomes much easier than going from $0 to $100,000. Why? Because now you have both a significant amount of capital and the discipline required to manage it. This is exactly what the shift in strategic perspective looks like. Instead of looking at money and asking, "What can I buy?" you ask, "How much time can I buy?" Let's say your annual expenses are $40,000 and you have $100,000 in the bank. You have essentially bought 2.5 years of your life. That means for 2.5 years, you don't have to work a job you hate. You can try starting a new business or just pause and think about what you actually want to do. That freedom is worth more than the most luxurious car in the world. So, how do you overcome this barrier? Let me tell you, stopping your daily Starbucks habit won't make you a millionaire on its own. But at the same time, if you keep spending uncontrollably on things like that, reaching $100,000 will stay a dream. The real issue isn't the $5 you spent on coffee. It's the autopilot behavior behind that $5. The people who cross this line are the ones who know exactly where their money goes and control every transaction. They see money as a cause, not just a result. In conclusion, $100,000 is more than just a number. It's a total mindset shift. Along the way, you might feel lonely at times. You might keep using your old phone while your friends show off their new toys. But remember, most people are trading their long-term freedom for short-term hits of dopamine. You, on the other hand, are laying the foundation of your financial empire. Laying a foundation is often noisy and messy. It looks like nothing from the outside, but if it isn't built solid, you can't build a skyscraper on top of it. As we wrap up, ask yourself this: do your spending habits today actually mean something to you, or are they just weakening your potential freedom? The world beyond $100,000 belongs not just to those with money, but to those with self-mastery. Stepping into that world is up to you. Will it be hard? Absolutely. But is it worth it? Without a doubt. That's it for this video. Thanks for listening. To make sure you don't miss the next one, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.